plan your follow-up sequence before you start recording your podcast. The reason we are doing this is because most coaches do nothing after the episode. That is why most interviews die. So 7 steps to convert listeners into clients before you even start recording. So every coach wants to turn podcast appearances into clients, but it's a podcast revenue leak nobody talks about. Most podcast guests do zero preparation before they hit record, and then they wonder why nobody buys. So I'm going to give you a 7-step podcast prep checklist that fixes the biggest leaks before you even say hello. Follow this and you will stop wasting interviews and start getting real leads. So if we have not met, my name is Ludiah Mong'are. I spent 10 years editing podcasts for coaches and founders. I've seen which guests convert and which ones don't. Now I help B2B coaches fix their episode messaging and listener fit, the E and L in my leak framework. In this video, I'll break down 7 steps, why each one matters, and exactly how to do them. Step 7 is the one almost everyone skips, and it's the easiest to do. So stick around for that. Let's get started. You gotta step out of the darkness if you want to see the light. So step 1, research the podcast's audience, and that is listener fit leak in my leak framework. So for step 1, you're making sure you're not in the wrong room. That's the listener leak fit, as I mentioned, the L in the leak framework. And here's the thing, if the podcast's audience is not your ideal client, nothing you say will matter. You'll be talking to the wrong person or to the wrong people. That is a huge podcast leak. So how do you do it? Here's what you're going to do. Listen to 3 episodes, read the comments, see who's asking questions. If it's not your people, don't say yes, move on. So this is for every coach who wants to stop wasting time on shows that don't pay back. Step 2 of the guest prep checklist is define one specific listener action. So for step 2, you're deciding what you want the listener to do after the episode. One thing, not 10. So if you don't know the action, the listener definitely won't. If you give them unclear hopes, it means you are getting 0 leads. You need a low friction CTA, a small free next step. So here's what you're going to do. If you're planning to go to a podcast, you need to pick something simple, a download checklist, book a free scan, answer a 1-question survey, as we mentioned in my previous video on the 7 CTAs for your next podcast interview. You can say something like, for example, for me, I do the free scan. You can say something like, my free scan is available at my website, spyrevia.com/guest audit. So for this is a perfect example. Make sure you give them a specific URL that is easy to remember. So step 2 is for everyone who finishes interviews and then have no idea what to say at the end. Step 3 of the podcast guests prep checklist, write your breach statement. This one is the episode messaging leak in my leak framework. So for step 3, you are writing a breach statement, 3 sentences that connect their problem to your solution. This fixes the episode messaging leak. That is the E in my leak framework. So without a breach, you're just a helpful stranger. You're just a helpful stranger. With a breach, you become the obvious next step. So here's what you're going to do if you're planning to be on a podcast soon. Use the following structure. Number 1, if you're struggling with, you can say something like, if you're struggling with, mention the problem, and then the mistake most people make, mention the common error, and then what works is mention your approach, and then say, I have put a free resource at, mention that specific URL. So write it down and practice it 3 times out loud. So this is for you if you share great value but get 0 leads or 0 DMs. Step 4 of my podcast guest prep checklist, prepare 3 listener fit stories. So step 4 is preparing 3 short stories about clients who are exactly like the podcast's audience. Stories build trust faster than facts. When the story sounds like their life, they lean in. That is listener fit in action. That is the right audience in action. So here's what you are going to do. Each story should follow the problem, your fix, your results. Keep each under 60 seconds. Example, a coach came to me with 0 leads from podcasts. We fixed this CTA. He booked 3 calls in a week. So You see what I did there? I gave a story, I gave a problem, I gave what I did fix, and then I gave the results. So this is for every coach who wants to be remembered after the episode ends. Step 5 of my podcast guest prep checklist: create a simple landing page. And this is the arrival destination leak in my leak framework, which is the A. In this step, we are making sure the place you send listeners actually works. This fixes the arrival. We are fixing where the location we send them to, so that you do not have people getting to that destination and then leaving. So why you need to do this is because if your URL is long or the page is confusing, people will give up. That is money left on the table. If people go to that page and then found so many other pages on that specific page that you sent, on that specific URL you sent them to, then they are likely to be distracted and then not to do whatever that you wanted them to do. So who is this for? This is for coaches who say, check my website, and then wonder why nobody visits their website. So if you say, check my website, you're not giving them a specific location where they go. Your website could have so many things, so you have to be clear. Step 6, you need to set up your recording environment. So for this one, you're making sure you sound clear, look professional. Even if you're using a basic gear, you need to look professional. You need to sound, your audio needs to be clear. So you are doing this because bad audio is a podcast revenue leak, because listeners will clock off if they don't hear you. They can't buy from you. So what you're going to do, you're going to get your USB mic, record in a quiet room with soft things around you, blankets, pillows, close other apps on your computer. You can do a 1-minute recording fast before you even start your podcast. This is for every coach who has ever been told you sound far away on a call. Step 7, it's planning your kinetic follow-up before you even record. Plan your follow-up sequence before you start recording your podcast. This is planning what you will do after the episode goes live. Before you even record, with this one, you fix the kinetic follow-up leak in my leak framework, which is K. The reason we are doing this is because most coaches do nothing after the episode. That is why most interviews die. With a simple plan, you turn one appearance into weeks of leads. So what you're going to do is you're going to write down your 7-day plan before you record. For example, day 0, share the episode on LinkedIn. Day 1, post a 60-second clip. Day 2, email your list. Day 3, post another clip. Day 4, DM people who commented. Day 5, turn that episode into a carousel. Day 6, follow up with non-openers, the people that you sent your email to. Day 7, archive and prepare for the next. The reason why this step is the most important is because this step costs you no extra recording time, just 15 minutes a day, and almost no coach does it. Most people do not do the follow-up after they record the interview. They record and forget about the interview. But about you, you're going to record and then you're going to do the follow-up for the next 7 days. That is why you will stand out if you follow this step. So who should do this? Every coach who has ever said that I did a great interview and nothing happened. So if you did a great interview last week and you haven't seen anything, or last month or the last 5 episodes, make sure you use this step. So there you have it, the 7-step podcast guest prep checklist. Number 1, we said research the audience. That is, fix the listener, the right listener. Make sure you choose the right listener. Step 2, we said you define one listener action, what they should do. Step 3, we said write down your bridge statement, fix episode messaging. Step 4, we said prepare 3 listener fit stories. Step 5, we said create a simple landing page. Step 6, which is fixing the arrival destination, the location where you send them to. Step 6, we said set up your recording environment. Step 7, we said plan your kinetic follow-up before you record. So which of these 7 steps have you been skipping? Comment the number. I'll reply with a tip to make it easier. And if you want me to check your current prep process for free, here's what you do. Go to my website, spyrevere.com/guest audit. The link is in the description. Send me your prep notes or a recent episode link. I will record a 10-minute Loom video showing you exactly one leak in your breach, your landing page, or your follow-up plan. No sales pitch, no obligation. I do 3 of these per week. So if this checklist helped you, stop wasting podcast appearances, hit subscribe. I'm Ludiah. This is the podcast Guest to Revenue channel. Get your free scan and I'll see you in the next video.
You gotta step out of the darkness if you wanna see the light. You gotta learn you can't get it wrong.